So the story of Kelly being here, well, it's a long one because I'm getting on a bit now, but I've been in the Middle East for the past 20 years. It's 20 years this year, actually. And over those past 20 years, I've run a number of businesses. The first one was a personal shopping and styling agent. First thing is everyone has a personal brand. So your personal brand is really the combination of your online, your offline presence, but ultimately for me, it's how do you make other people feel? What is the perception people have about really encourage those that are watching this that personal style does have a huge part to play when it comes to your personal brand. However, it's not just.
So what's the relation or maybe the difference between personal branding, professionals and stylists? So how do I pick up my own brand? What defines the look and feel? Or how do I know that what suits me or not?
Absolutely. Own your IP, own your name before someone else does.
Not inspiring.
Both. I'm inspired by other people. I'm inspired by meeting people, inspired by the surroundings, and I love to inspire people.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. That is Daniel Tokad, Monday Talks with me again. Today I have a special guest, as always. She's a personal brand strategist, business mentor, and TEDx speaker. She's an author, and formerly, she's a celebrity stylist. She helps entrepreneurs, CEOs grow their personal brand and business for maximum financial return. She talks about women in business. She's talking about personal branding and business mentoring. So everybody, how are you, Kelly, today? Nice to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me. Great to be here.
Thank you. So first of all, just like everybody should know a bit about who's Kelly. What's the story of Kelly being here?
So the story of Kelly being here, well, it's a long one because I'm getting on a bit now, but I've been in the Middle East for the past 20 years. It's 20 years this year, actually. And I absolutely love the culture and the environment, and so much so I've lived here longer than I have my own country. And over those past 20 years, I've run a number of businesses. The first one was a personal shopping and styling agency, which really introduced me to the world of first impressions, what people wear, how important it is in terms of personal brand. And it really introduced me to the world of business as well. You know, I was young when I started, but Dubai was very encouraging in the space of anything is possible. You know, anyone can start a business. And there was a certain amount of confidence that was there with that as well. So, and naivety, I'll add. Confidence, but there was also the naivety of not knowing what lay ahead. So I ran a personal styling and shopping agency for 15 years, successfully sold that. And then laterally in the past 3 years, I launched a new agency, which is Brand New Creators. And that's where myself and my team work with CEOs and entrepreneurs to help them develop their personal brand. Now, that is their personal brand online and offline. We have an element where we help clients with their digital aspect of their personal branded websites and their media kits and their email signatures. So all those touch points of their personal brand we support, and then I can support them on the personal brand strategy part to get them to where they want to be.
We're going there, and especially personal branding. But when was the moment that, okay, you moved to this region and then you decided to go alone, right? That was a big step to have. Like,
yeah,
you used to be an employee before, right?
Yeah, so I was actually cabin crew. I worked for Emirates.
So
that's what brought me to the Middle East initially. Great opportunity. I was 21 years old, keen to see the world and travel. And it was just a couple of years living here.
And what attracts you to Dubai?
That entrepreneurial bug, you know, to go, well, if everyone else is starting a business, I want to be part of
it. That's funny. And how, okay, it needs a lot of courage. Like, okay, I'm alone now, right?
Yeah, I think the naivety part has a lot to play with it. You know, in 23, 24, you're quite naive as much as you think you know everything. I look back now and I go, wow, if I'd known half the stuff then. And it was really, to be honest, what sort of spurred me on and saw a gap in the market for that was
I'm sure you're so thankful for that feeling right there, right?
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
But it
moving
was
to the.
chatting to passengers.
Ah, sorry, I missed that.
It was chatting to passengers while I was
Oh,
flying that kind of
mm,
cemented or I should say like gave bloom to an idea, because it was when I was chatting to them I would say, you know, when you're in Dubai, you need to visit here, or you need to visit this place, or go shopping here and go shopping here. And I
mm.
remember thinking in those days, wow, it would be amazing if I could have a business and do this for other people. And that was kind of where the idea of talking to people, and I spoke to a lot of people because I was working in the premium business class and first class cabins. And that was where the idea came from to go, do you know what? I'm going to go and do this. So,
Oh, brilliant idea. It's like surrounding yourself with those people you're looking to now differently to be your customers, right?
absolutely. Yeah. I was like, they could be my clients. So they're traveling here. How can I make that happen?
Perfect. Okay, moving now to the most important question of this session. Like, what does personal branding stand for? Is it like
So,
everybody else
first,
thinking like, oh, I should dress well, be formal? Is that it? I don't
yeah.
believe so.
So personal branding. So I think first of all, let's take it back. A lot of people go, well, I don't have a personal brand, or, you know, I'm not in business, or I work for a company, so I don't have a personal brand. And I think the first thing is everyone has a personal brand. So your personal brand is really the combination of your online, your offline presence, but ultimately for me, it's how do you make other people feel? What is the perception people have about you? Now,
Mhm.
whether it comes to, you know, you looking to get promotion, people are going to make a judgment call. Sure, they might look at how you present yourself, but that's just one element of it. How else are you coming across in your whole personal brand appearance? How much do you support your colleagues? What do you do in terms of you know, CSR and doing other things outside? You know, how would people describe you within the organization? That is part and parcel of what your personal brand is.
So it's not just like wearing suits and boots and expensive watch and go, this is personal branding, right?
Well, people will also have an opinion of that. So, you know, don't get me wrong. Your personal style in terms of how you present yourself absolutely is, and that was really, really where I understood the journey, because that's what I did for 15 years. You know, I dressed people for the cover of magazines and, you know, newspaper articles and, you know, stages and TEDx talks and, you know, royalty when they're doing a presentation. So I understand, and really encourage those that are watching this that personal style does have a huge part to play when it comes to your personal brand. However, it's not just that. And I talk about my personal brand formula. There's 7 really clear pillars that I've identified in growing my personal brand and growing my other clients' personal brand, that there's 7 pillars that you need to follow in order to have a successful brand.
Yeah. So what's the relation or maybe the difference between personal branding, professionals, and stylists?
So a personal stylist will take your personality and help style you and your clothes. Okay. I'm describing a personal brand strategist. I will take someone through the whole journey. So I will take them through the aspects of what do you want to achieve in the next 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, 5 years? What are your goals? And then we work backwards in terms of how can we get that there with your personal brand. So we need a really clear personal brand strategy. It's the very first thing I do. We do an audit and we find out what's out there about you already, what's online about you, what's offline, what do your colleagues say about you, or what do your potential clients say about you. We need somewhere to go from. And that's really the start of it. But there's so many elements to developing the personal brand. So from your social media, how are you coming across? What is your strategy for LinkedIn? What is your strategy for Instagram or TikTok? Where are your clients and customers, and how are you communicating with them? Could also be how could you get more speaking opportunities? How are you coming across when you speak in a meeting? How are you presenting yourself on stage if that's something that you're doing, or to a group of people if you have a business? What about getting some spotlight? So that's one of the pillars in particular, where it's like, can we get some coverage on you as a person in the newspaper, in someone else's publication, and maybe on a podcast? So that's these are all key parts of looking at personal brand, where someone would look at you and go, yeah, I want to work with that person, or no, there's nothing out there about that person, I'm not going to hire them, or I'm not going to do business with them. So it's all of these points, not just personal style.
Okay. This drives me to another question. Like, do you believe in the expression saying first impression matters?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because it's very hard to make a second impression. So it really does. At first impressions, and in the worlds we live in, you know, people do judge very quickly what you wear, how you come across.
How does that apply online? Like, okay,
Well,
I
that
can
then
dress
comes,
well if I'm going to meet you in person. I can dress well,
yeah.
dress my best, and it's going to be this one limited time meeting. But online, it's a different story, right?
Yeah. One example could be someone does a Google search and they click on images, and then they find you with just one outfit, and that's the only thing you're showing in every single picture. That could then create an impression of, well, either this person is not investing in themselves, or they only have one picture, or it's the only thing, or, you know, there's got to be, in my opinion, variety. If you're going to start to build a credible brand online, and with that first impression, is there consistency? So what happens when you audit yourself, when you click images, what comes up? That's your personal style.
So how do I pick up my own brand? What defines the look and feel? Or how do I know that what suits me or not?
So if we're specifically talking about the pillar of style, it's very much understanding, what do you enjoy wearing? Who are your clients, or what's your target audience? You know, it's all good and well. You could come and say to me, like, I've had clients in the past where being like, well, I want to dress like, I don't know, Victoria Beckham or the Kim Kardashian. But the reality is, they're maybe driving around doing school drop-offs, getting in and out of cars, it's hot, it's the middle of summer, and that, as much as they like it, doesn't reflect their lifestyle. So there's got to be an element of understanding, well, what do you want to achieve? What do you want to look like? And what's your lifestyle? Like, what are you doing every day? What's comfortable? Do you actually enjoy putting outfits together? Do you want a uniform? What feels comfortable? I hate jeans, I want to wear chinos. Okay, and then we start to derive a look from that. So your personal brand, as much as an expert can help you from the style perspective.
Yeah, it's part of my identity, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. What I feel comfortable moving out with, and I love jeans.
Yeah, there's an element of that, because a lot of people feel comfortable in tracksuit bottoms and t-shirts. So I think there's the element of going, yeah, sure, want to find something that's comfortable and suitable, but there's also an impression of, you know, what do I want to achieve out of this?
Okay, interesting. So is it something like I have to stick around with, or how often do we change our style, the healthy rate?
I mean, when we're talking about style, because style, it's clothing, style is your hair, style is your makeup, style is how you present yourself. Again, it's back to that, how do you make other people feel? That's constantly evolving due to trends, due to fits, due to colors, due to cuts, due to our body shape changing, you know, different decades, extra kilos, you know, things evolve, and it's also managing that. So it's not like, well, every 3 months you need to change. It's about, you know, feeling comfortable in the things that you're wearing, but also everything else that goes with it. You know, you keep it on top of your haircut, so you keep it on top of, you know, your skincare routine or your regime or your those kind of things as well. So it's not like, it's not as clear cut as going every 3 months or every 6 months. it's a natural reflection. And for me, I don't know about you, but at the end of every year, I reflect and go, what are the things that worked well? What did I like? What do I want to change? What do I want to evolve? And one of those might be your personal style. Another might be, well, I want to get a new job. Another might be, well, I want to achieve this. So that reflection piece, it could maybe be every year that you look at it.
Okay, now moving to a different direction. When you said you help CEOs and entrepreneurs to grow their personal branding and their business indirectly for maximum financial return. So this drives like the first idea when I read this statement that how can we translate the personal branding into business outcomes and financial returns? Is that something easy to measure?
Can it be easy to measure in terms of like, oh, I did this post on social media and it resulted in, you know, $20,000? I don't know how you can quantify that, but I know from the KPIs of when I start working with clients to when I finish working with them, their sales are increased, their bottom line is increased. So from that perspective, I can say over a period of 6 months, X client increased her sales by 35%, or you know, one of my clients increased their LinkedIn followers by 527%. You know, so there is those kind of things that you can quantify, but to say, oh, exactly one example could be with one of my clients is through working on her personal brand, she ended up getting a new job. That new job paid her more than her last job. So let's just say the deficit was 10,000 dirhams difference between last job and new job. Don't know what it was. How do you quantify that? Do you times that by 12, or how many months she stays there? And the investment in a personal brand strategist over a period of 5 years resulted in, you can do the math on that, you know, 500,000 dirhams.
Oh, yeah. That's that's something like wow, big chunk is that. Yeah, you're shifting people one level up.
100%. But it's just getting them to understand, you know, what are the things that you can do that's going to enhance what it's automatically will come down to the bottom line. The more people you serve, the more people that know about you will have a direct impact to either a job promotion, more clients coming into your funnel, more leads coming into your funnel because you have a better strategy in your social media, or your branding looks nice, or people want to engage with you. So all of those touch points are then ticked, which is going to result in the bottom line.
Okay. You know, we're just like January 6th now, and we're getting into the era of 2023, and everybody's like, we hope 2023 will be just much better than previous 22. And I remember the last week, December 28th, you were there live stream talking about the top 7 brand trends for 2023, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. So can you just like briefly talk about that? How is that different? Like, what's different for 2023? And what's those 7 brand trends?
So there are opinions and thoughts that I've seen coming through 2022 that I think are going to have more of an impact in 2023. So some examples could be, I've seen a huge shift in LinkedIn in terms of the strategy on LinkedIn now. So many people had seen it in the past as being just a business platform. And it absolutely is business, but it's also a social platform. So it's your business social platform where people want to see the personal side to what you are doing. So one of the things that I've seen in terms of growth is, what's your strategy where you're actually sharing content, not just reposting other people's blogs? What content are you sharing that might involve a milestone? Like for me, oh, been 20 years in the Middle East, what are the things I've learned? Or I was on a podcast today and I spoke to this person and it was great to meet them and I've got a picture. These are the kind of things that are still business related, but it's not just dry.
Yeah.
So I think LinkedIn.
I believe like it's still everybody else think LinkedIn is like a pure business posting, while it is what I believe, it's a personal with a business touch, not the other way around. What do you think?
Mm. I would say it's business with the personal touch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
rather than personal with a business. Because I
Oh.
think maybe Instagram's got a bit more of that sort of personal feel to it. You know, for example, would I put a selfie on LinkedIn? Probably not. Would I do that on Instagram? Yes. So I feel that to me has got sort of more of that element rather than the business side. Would I at this stage, and you never know, would I don't know, would I post a bikini shot and put that on LinkedIn?
If it's a
Probably not.
business, why?
Well, yeah, absolutely, which is not, so then it would
Which
confuse
is not.
people. But I would put that on my LinkedIn page. So I do think that it's business first, and then there's the personal side to it. It's not just 100% business, and it's not just a CV portfolio anymore. There's the engagement and the interaction, and people aren't posting enough. They're looking at other people's stuff. They're on it. People are checking it, but they don't have a clear strategy. So I really think 2021 for that is going to be, 2023 is going to be a big, a much more of a push in that space and expectations and growth.
Okay, talking about
I also,
strategy.
yeah,
How do you, sorry, were you going to say anything else?
no, I was going to give another point.
Okay, go ahead if you want.
So something else I feel more people are looking at doing is personal branded websites. So owning their own name, regardless of whether they are an employee or whether they are, own their own business. I think owning your own name, ideally .com, is going to be something that's going to continue to grow. It's been a strategy that worked last year with one of my clients when she was looking for a job. She had her own website, but also speaking to
So no
other
matter
people.
you're a business owner or not, you're encouraging people to
Yeah,
brand themselves.
absolutely. Own your IP, own your name before someone else does. Because, who knows where you're going to be in the next 5 years' time? What if you want to go and start a business, but you're an employee and someone's taking your name, and you don't have .com and you've got to have something else. So I very much feel that that is something that more people are going to be aware of, going, I want to own this. I tried to buy my own domain name back in 2009 and someone already had it. And when I tried to buy, yeah, I know. And my name is like, it's not super common.
Yeah.
And when I tried to buy it, I hired a broker, tried to buy it, and the gentleman said to me, I'm not prepared to sell it. I bought it for my daughter and I want to give her a legacy when she gets older. And I've named her Kelly Lundberg. And I was like, oh, okay. Part of me really wants to be frustrated because I want to own my own domain name. But another part of me is like, wish my parents did that.
Yeah.
So
funny.
that is why, if you were looking to find me, my branding is Kelly Lundberg Official.
Okay.
And
Smart
a
one.
lot of people also now copy my stuff on social media platforms. So I'm a verified account so that people know that I'm a verified account and don't go and do untoward business with someone else.
So that was like also related to the question I was going to ask, like, how do you come up with a personal brand strategy? Based on what?
Honestly, you book a call with me and we have a session and we go through it.
Funny. All right.
There's no kind of quick answer, because listen, everyone's different and it's a personalized approach to, what you want to achieve with your personal brand is different from the client that I met this morning wants from their personal brand. So as much as I know the principles of what we should be doing, it's very personalized in terms of the strategy. So we have to start with that audit. We have to start with, where are you now? That's where I start with anyone. Where are you now? And then we can understand, where do we want to get to? So we look at all those 7 pillars and go, well, what have you got? What haven't you got? What are you working well on? What's not working well? And that then starts to give us a a foundation to where we can go next. And if anyone wants to have a little dabble, I've got a small quiz. I'll share with you a link, and it just takes 60 seconds, and they can see. It's a very short one. When I do it with clients, I go in depth. It's 49 points I have in my audit, but I've got a little 12 questions that people can fill out in 60 seconds, and they can see where their personal brand
should be
is on a scale of, or where it currently is, and if they need support, basically.
That's interesting. I'm excited about it. Yeah, I would love to
share
have
the
that
link with you now.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Okay. One last question before we go back to Kelly. Does colors means like, okay, if we want to think about personal brand, is there a part where we're talking about colors?
Are you referring to colors that people wear, or you mean colors in logos?
Both. Is that affected by time? Like, for example, the era of 90s is like different color themes wearing, or even websites. Now in the 20s is different because they want bold colors. I don't know. You're the expert.
Yeah, I definitely think that there are trends, and I think branding your logo and branding your personal style in terms of your clothes, they're different. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people might love turquoise as a particular color and like that as a logo, but they won't dress head to toe in turquoise all the time. So I think to differentiate both of them, but I certainly think there is an element of colors that you like and you graduate towards are colors that maybe will be represented in your branding, for example.
Like,
well, black and white black and white when it comes to a logo is timeless. You know, you can't go wrong with that. You look at all the fashion designers and all the fashion houses.
Black and white.
Yeah. So, there might be slight modifications, but certainly in that space, or in the journey that I've been through working with fashion brands, it's all of that space.
Okay, interesting. Mine is black and white.
Great start.
Thank you. Okay. Before we wrap it up, I usually have this fun part at the end. So it's like funny questions. You're up to it?
Absolutely.
All right. So let's start with the first one. If you're in a position, like on stage or on call or anything, or even in the elevator, and you're asked to present yourself with one word, just one word, what'd that be?
As in, it tells people what my job is, or just one word?
I don't know. Kelly,
I would say inspired.
Not inspiring.
Bold. I'm inspired by other people. I'm inspired by meeting people. Inspired by the surroundings, and I love to inspire people to action as well. So can we have all the objectives? That's everything. EDING, all of it.
Nice. Okay. Can you give us 2 things that are still there on your bucket list?
2 things that are on my
I'm strict with numbers list. I don't know. I'm just like 1 or 2.
I like 2 things that are on my bucket list. I would say they would be travel destinations. So I still would love to go to Uganda with my mum. That's on my bucket list. We'd love to have the opportunity to see the gorillas. A few years ago, we did Giraffe Manor, and we had an amazing trip, and it was just a wonderful experience. And my mum was born in Uganda, so she would like to return. So that's on the list. And another thing would be that I haven't done Christmas in New York, actually. I don't know why. Maybe go back there at some point, but do it at Christmas time.
Okay.
Let's see.
By the way, you're from
Scotland.
Scotland. All right. Interesting.
Yeah. So definitely travel things, no travel experiences, I would say.
Of course. And your background is like crew cabin. So what can we expect?
Exactly.
What can we expect more? Okay. Can you name one habit you look to gain or get rid of in 2023?
I would say a habit that I would love to do consistently, and I really find it tough here, is to do 10,000 steps every
Beautiful.
day. Yeah, it's often like I work out consistently, and all of that's great, and 4 or 5 times a week, but it's just getting that 10K in is super hard when you're doing a job in this sort of space here. So, you spend a lot of time mentoring, you're not out and about. My days of personal styling, I never had to consider my step count. I would do that easily in the malls, but it's a conscious effort. So I would like to see me carry through that.
We'll see you, definitely. Good luck
I'll
with
be
that.
documenting it. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Kelly Lundberg, and it was with me, Monday Talks, Daniel Tokod, and nice to have you here. Thank you, Kelly, for making us a wonderful interview today.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.